Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Yeah, welcome back to Going In Raw News Brief. We're going to try to keep this one brief today, but we got a lot of news, and before we get started, do us a favor, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't like the episode by the end of it, you can just take it away. Also, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you always get your new Going In Raw content. Larson, kick us off. What's in the news?
Dun, 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 dun. So there's been a lot of rumblings of late about the possibility of Brock Lesnar returning to the WWE, perhaps for SummerSlam. Most recently, Andrew Zarian of the Matt Man podcast mentioned on the show, and these transcripts are from Inside the Ropes, quote, I would say expect to see all the big names that make sense. Lesnar was early on for SummerSlam plans. They were trying to do something. I think the concept behind Lesnar is to justify what we're going to pay him, and we need a more consistent touring schedule so we can build to this, and those appearances by Lesnar will help sell tickets. Obviously, now it's come to light today that Brock, who was on the alumni section of WWE.com, he's not there anymore. He's not there anymore. Guess where he's at?
Active roster.
Yes. There's been times where it seems obvious that whatever's going on, like a digital, has no bearing on what's going on over here on creative. Sometimes left hand, right hand situation. Yeah. Sometimes wires get crossed. But that being said, this would be a hell of a way to announce that Brock Lesnar is back.
Yeah, right. That'd be weird. But no, it does. It'd be weird for just digital to be like sitting there, some dude in digital. Let me move this guy over here. It's like Brock Lesnar. You don't touch that unless you know something. So SummerSlam, number one, Brock Lesnar. If anybody were to be crowned Mr. SummerSlam, it would be him because he main evented, I think, something like 11 out of the past 15 or something weird like that.
Yeah.
And SummerSlam is the one show where they've never really been opposed to giving us a downer ending, and usually that's like Brock Lesnar destroying something. Whether it was Cena that year or whatever.
Randy Orton.
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So let's say Brock is back for SummerSlam. What's the story you think it's going to be, and what's the story you would prefer to see, Larson?
Well, I think coinciding with the talk of Brock potentially being at SummerSlam is talk of Lashley finally getting his match against Brock.
Yeah,
which I think would be awesome for Bob Lashley. If he walks into SummerSlam still WWE champion, beats Brock, that's pretty massive in terms of establishing Bob Lashley as champion. Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah.
Understandably, there's story that could be had between Roman and Brock and Paul Heyman. Everything we've been kind of hearing about SummerSlam that's been out there is that it might be Roman versus Cena, assuming they get Cena to come back. Either way, however you put things together, that's two pretty huge main events.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Roman versus Cena, I would love to see. Roman versus Brock, I would love to see. It's like you can't go wrong with either of those, Brock Roman or Brock Lashley. I kind of would probably prefer it to be Brock Lashley just because I really want to see Bobby Lashley's reign as WWE champion be solidified, and that is the way to do it. If he's running around with fans there, and granted, I know Raw's been terrible, but if they're able to turn around the creative on a lot of the other aspects of Raw, Bob Lashley as champion is not something I have an issue with. I really like that. And if you're going to solidify him as champion, a win over Brock Lesnar is the way to do it. Then Lashley is a made man. Then you're talking about how long is he going to have the title? Is he going to have it for an extended number of years? What's going to happen here? On the other hand, you've got Heyman versus Heyman. Yeah. I'm sorry, Heyman getting involved there could be great. What were you going to say?
Yeah, just another aspect of Brock Lashley that would be advantageous for WWE is that you'd have Brock on Raw, which desperately needs some eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
Brock brings eyeballs.
Yeah, absolutely. But then, like I was saying, or like you said also, the idea of Heyman being, somehow writing that story where, the tribal chief is going to try to get Brock Lesnar to acknowledge him. Oh, boy, that's massive. So a lot of cool, scenarios that could play out there. And then who knows if Cena's going to come into the mix as well. That could be a lot of fun. I mean, I definitely like to see Reigns and Cena as well. I mean, I know obviously we've seen it before. We haven't seen head of the table. I mean, with Roman the way he is, it's a clean slate. Like, anybody who he's faced before, it ain't like it is then now. So yeah, I'd totally be into any of those situations.
Yes.
I'm glad to see Brock back.
Yeah, for sure. So about a week ago, there was a lot of talk about rumors going around. No.
You just literally said you'd use.
No, I did. I said rumors. I just said rumors.
You dipped into the U. You went rumors.
I did it. I just said rumors.
You did it again.
That's me just saying rumors. About WWE having talks with New Japan about forging some sort of exclusive partnership here in the United States. PW Insider offered up some details after those initial reports, saying that Daniel Bryan was the focus of those talks. Whether he be able to find a way to wrestle for both WWE and New Japan. But then today, Dave Meltzer in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter states that while Daniel Bryan was part of the initial talks, he hasn't been involved in recent discussions. Instead, Meltzer stating that the initial motivation for the talks was for WWE to enter an exclusive pact with New Japan and thus freeze out AEW from working with them. Meltzer believes that if such a deal is reached, it would involve NXT. And he also adds that while Nick Khan has been involved with these discussions, it was apparently not his idea to pursue talks with New Japan. I in a lot of respects, a New Japan NXT thing would be great because I feel like they give a little more freedom in terms of how they book things.
Yeah.
Like if you start getting into main roster stars with New Japan stars, these dream match scenarios, and you get into all the politics of who's going over. I feel like at NXT that might be less the case. However, if WWE gets into a deal with New Japan and doesn't explore at least some matches between main roster superstars and like Okada, the main event of New Japan, you're really dropping the ball. People want to see Okada Orton. People want to see Cena Tanahashi. I know Cena Tanahashi would even happen given Cena's Hollywood schedule. But like if you have matches that exist outside of title programs, you might have a little more freedom in terms of, all right, we'll work it out so it's kind of even in terms of which companies wrestlers go over.
Yeah. I don't know. I like, dude, I feel you. Like, we want the dream matches. I'd be excited about the NXT thing for sure. I think that'd be great.
Same.
And yeah, you want that stuff. I wonder if it would be a needle mover in terms of, because main roster. I don't know. I don't know if the main roster audience would like if Okada showed up. They'd probably pop, right? Would they? Or would they be like, who's this guy?
No, I think Okada showing up, that'd be huge. I think even Kota Ibushi, given that he was in the Cruiserweight Classic, wrestled a couple matches in NXT afterwards. I think the Kota Ibushi name brand has only grown since then. I think if Ibushi showed up, if Naito showed up, if Okada showed up, if Tanahashi showed up, in front of a live crowd, I think a good portion of the crowd would know who they are and pop huge for them.
Possibly. I mean, I know for a fact that if it was the Full Sail CWC crowd, then obviously they would go nuts. And I think it'd be a huge. I mean, look, if you want to grow NXT, this is a hell of a way to do it.
Oh,
and I mean,
totally.
Let alone the fact that they might be doing this to freeze out AEW. That's fine. But honestly, like with the few smalls, it's not like AEW's blown open the forbidden door to New Japan. It's not like they've had some opportunity. I think New Japan is sort of feeling out AEW, what we want to do with them. Now they're maybe going to feel out NXT. Hey, they're interested in working. Let's see what we want to do with them.
Who knows where we'd be in this forbidden door business had it not been for the pandemic. The pandemic, who knows if it would even been a possibility. But now that there's it's still ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
Traveling's difficult.
Yeah.
So that might have precluded any grander plans that any party might have had in all this.
Yeah, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. It's difficult to know exactly, like, you know, what the backstage discussions have been, and you know, is New Japan just sort of moving, you know, sort of dipping their toes in, like we've seen LP and in Impact and a couple other names, and obviously like Kenta showed up for like 2 episodes of Dynamite. But yeah, and who knows if we would have seen a lot more had it not been for a pandemic. Who knows if we would have seen a lot less if New Japan's plans would have been a lot different. I don't know. It's difficult to tell a lot of stuff because of pandemic. But yeah, I don't know. It's all interesting stuff. It seems like, you know, we might end up with something that's kind of cool. Like, I mean, just even NXT working with New Japan is something that previously would have been unheard of.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's great. I mean, we had heard before, God, who was it that said Triple H was asking him if he wanted to do some work with, it was Brody. It was Brody Lee. Hey, you want to do some, and maybe he's been sort of in the background pushing, and now he's got the opportunity. Hey, Dad, you know, we lost out in the ratings war, but, you know, they're trying to do some cool stuff. You want to try to do that cool stuff instead with NXT? I mean, you know, creative would be a hell of a lot better if it's NXT. And you have the names there that, you know, you got like your Coles and your Ciampa and Gargano and all those guys. Mm-hmm. I don't know, dude. Honestly, if given the option, if you know, Vince McMahon was like, "Hey, Steve, what would you prefer? NXT versus New Japan or main roster versus New Japan?" I'd have to give it some thought because I honestly don't know. I'm like, man, well, I know where the good wrestling is. I know where the good creative is. I know who'd handle this best, and it's NXT. Otherwise, you're rolling the dice on main roster. They, you know, roll out Tanahashi, Okada, and Naito all as one group, get them in the ring, and who knows how that crowd's going to react? Who knows how main roster's going to treat them? Who knows what they're going to tell Randy Orton? Like, are they going to try to big league these guys in the middle of the ring on promos? You know, I don't know. I can't trust that they're not going to do that. So, but no, I think NXT it'll treat it with the proper respect. I'll be like, hey, these guys are a real threat. If it did like an invasion thing or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm interested in it. But I agree with you. Like, if you open up this door, you should try to go all the way with it. I agree with that. You should at least
you could start things out in NXT, let that go for a bit, you know, and then at least a handful of matches, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Between main roster,
it'd be cool. I mean, do a show,
whole pay-per-view,
do a pay-per-view,
of
dream matches. Who wouldn't want that?
Yep,
I agree with you,
100%. Before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show. Sunday, typically this time of year, I'll look out my window at my back lawn here and see it's an absolute mess, Steve. Just huge brown spots of dead grass and just patches of weeds.
Yeah, dude, mine was a mess too. But then I said to myself, Steve, it's time to get serious about your lawn care. And that's why I've turned to Sunday. You see, Sunday makes taking care of your lawn easier than ever. They take out all the guesswork and unwanted chemicals so you can grow a lush green lawn that's better for people, better for pets, and better for the planet.
And all you got to do is go to getsunday.com, put in your home address, and their free lawn analysis tool creates a tailored nutrient plan based on soil and climate data. So you get all the stuff your lawn needs and nothing it doesn't.
Plus, Sunday explains exactly what you need and why you need it, which makes lawn care easy for people like me who struggle to keep their lawn looking green. All I had to do was attach the ready-to-use pouch to my hose and spray. Now, instead of taking all day to care for my lawn, I can get it done in less than 15 minutes.
So let Sunday take the guesswork out of growing a greener, more beautiful lawn this spring. Visit getsunday.com/GIR to get $20 off your custom lawn care plan at checkout.
That's $20 off your custom plan at getsunday.com/GIR.
Speaking of NXT, not only is the main roster, Raw, SmackDown, going back on the road soon, but according to Meltzer, NXT will start touring again starting in July, doing Florida's Coconut Loop.
Ooh.
Meltzer adds in the newsletter that, quote, the belief is that talent will be asked to get vaccinated as something mandatory because they're going to be running in some rural, heavy right-wing markets, and the feeling is that the fan base, with that fan base, they wouldn't be able to enforce a mask ordinance.
Why don't they just do like parking lot shows, put a tent up? parking lot
That's what
shows.
they really should
Get some
do. Just do
cameras
them
out
outside.
there. Like, what the hell? There's a thing called outside. They can do it there.
I know. 100%.
There are parking lots and fields.
I know. You
Set
see,
up a
the
tent.
venues that normally have these shows. Guess what's next to a parking lot? Doing the
Right.
parking lot.
What the heck? I mean, wasn't they ran shows at like the Aftershock thing? That's outside, isn't it?
What's outside?
The Aftershock thing? Wasn't
Yes.
it? That's what it called? Yeah,
Yes.
they did that stuff
Yes.
outside. The same with UK. You can have fans. Well, I don't know I don't even know if they're letting people gather outdoors.
I don't know either.
But like the science says, you could do whatever you want out. You start coughing in people's mouths and it just goes away.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing that still wouldn't be advisable. Like right into someone's mouth. That'd probably be a bad idea.
No, man, it just drifts away.
All right, you go test that hypothesis.
No, I don't want to do that.
Exactly. Called your bluff, Steve.
You know who else called the bluff? Chris Jericho called the bluff on some dude on Twitter, apparently. Anyways, in some Dave Meltzer news. Well, I saw Chris Jericho responding to somebody on Twitter about this. He said in more Dave Meltzer news, the Wrestling Observer himself, he's reporting that Chris Jericho is no longer under contract in New Japan Pro Wrestling and states that the deal actually expired following Le Champion's bout against Hiroshi Tanahashi back at Wrestle Kingdom 14, while adding, quote, Harold Mage was negative on the contract due to the high cost, but others in the company had a different opinion even after the pandemic. New Japan is going to have to get its finances back on track to where they can afford that level of a deal. Yeah, man, they're running these shows with like 20 people in attendance. Like 20 people can be there at Dominion. It's going to be more than that. But that's crazy. Like, you know, they got hit really hard by COVID.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, yeah.
They shut down for months, while still paying everybody, apparently.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, Jericho said something like, real hot news you got there. The contract's been expired since day after Wrestle Kingdom, I think is what he tweeted to.
Yeah, that's right.
Whoever.
Yeah. It was like one of those, one of the dirt sheets or something
like that. Yeah.
Posted some stuff.
So speaking of New Japan, it's time to do our Dominion predictions. I see
man.
based on how you're copying and pasting here from the note, I'm guessing you haven't done them yet.
You got that right, buddy. I'm going to do it
Man,
I'm going to become, watch this.
Heads up.
Yeah, I took a nap. I'm going to become Ultimo
At 11.
on the fly. I was so tired today when I woke up. I was tired.
I'm tired every day, man.
And my neck. Well, I know now. I know what it's like to be you.
Yeah, tired, having a sore
and I have
neck.
a bad neck.
And how do you enjoy that feeling?
I feel a bit more well rested now that I took it. As long as you let me take a nap, I'm fine. Good to go. Gonna do this graduation tonight.
All right, very well. So, anyways, first match on the card, you got the Ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, Yoshihashi, and Sho taking on Team Bullet Club, Evil, Yujiro Takahashi, Crown Jewel, Chase Owens, Taiji Ishimori, and LP. Steve, who do you got?
Oh, this is easy. Oh, wow, Enforcer. What are you doing with that? Dude, literally, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one person on Team Tana Chaos that is eating pins, and that's Yoshihashi. Sho doesn't eat pins. Ishii doesn't eat pins. Sometimes he does. Goto generally doesn't eat pins. And Tanahashi sure as shit doesn't. Meanwhile, over in Bullet Club, you've got an entire squad designed to eat pins.
Well,
except for
yeah, but
maybe
kinda.
LP. I like LP's
Yeah,
great.
maybe Ishimori. Ishimori gets some.
Yeah, they're a tag team. So like they kind of don't, but they do also. So yeah, it's Team Tana, and I've got, hold on a second with this. I've got, how many matches are there?
5.
5 confidence points on Team Tanahashi.
Wow, 5.
You got that right.
Wow. All right, you got to write it down. You didn't write anything down here.
Oh, sorry. You usually do when I yell it. When I yell it, you write it.
Fine. So I got Team Ace as well. I got 3 confidence points.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the results from the last 2 nights, and everything about the results led me to believe from the road 2 shows that Team Ace is picking up this win.
Mm-hmm.
Enforcer going with a manic pick here. It's going with Team Bullet Club. 3 confidence points.
Wow.
Next we have LIJ, Naito, Sonata, Bushi taking on Suzuki-gun, Taichi, Zack Sabre Jr. I always want to say Dookie. I know it's not his name. Doki.
I know. Doki. Yeah. I always want to say Dookie too.
So Enforcers picking LIJ, 2 confidence points.
Yeah.
Likewise, I am picking LIJ, 4 confidence points. I feel like this match is going to motivate a tag title feud between probably Naito and Sonata, Sabre, and Taichi, the Dangerous Techers. But to do that, I feel like Team LIJ has to get the win here. Neither Taichi or Sabre Jr. is probably eating the pin, but LIJ getting this win and then getting to a tag title program.
I mean, I'll be honest. It's a total toss up. It's a toss up. I don't know. Like the Dangerous Techers, they have the tag team titles. They've got that. Obviously, like both teams have Doki. They got Bushi. They got guys who could eat pins. Naito going down at Dominion. I don't know if that's going to happen, but this Dominion is very different. This also honestly feels like a Road 2 show. They had the Dangerous Techers win those titles back on a Road 2 show.
Yeah, on the first, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you chose Team LIJ, right? I'm going to go with Team Suzuki.
Wow.
Because, I mean, they are the champions. Bushi can eat that pin. Let's see here. I got 5 here. I got 4 there. I'm going to have 1 there. I'll have
2 or 3 then, huh?
3 here. I'll have 2 on Suzuki.
Oh, 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Next, we got for the junior heavyweight title, El Desperado, your champion, taking on Yo. Steve, who do you got?
I don't know. I'm just going to go with El Desperado. I got 3 confidence points. He's the champion. Figure he'll probably keep it. They seem to like him quite a bit. He's had this title for a little while now, hasn't he?
He won it in the spring. Late winter.
Yeah,
he got after Takahashi had to vacate when he got hurt.
Okay, so he's had it for a little while. Yeah, I have no idea what the story is. I have no idea what the story is. I'm just gonna say El Desperado 3.
Yeah, I got El Desperado 2 confidence points. I know Yo has just come back from injury himself, not that long ago. I think it's occurred Genesis, but he and Sho are the junior tag champs now too. He's got a belt already. I don't know if they're going to put 2 belts on him. So I'm going to go with El Desperado 2 confidence points. Enforcer has Yo 1 confidence point.
I love it. Because here's the thing. I have to sweep you and him. I have to get all the points for me to be Ultimate because he has the Trios title. You have the IWGP title.
Back there, you can actually see it.
So, in order for me to be Ultimo, I'm just running through this.
You got to get him. You basically have to get everything right.
Probably, yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of matches. Only 5 matches.
There's not a lot of room for error.
Yeah.
Next, Kota Ibushi versus Jeff Cobb. Enforcer's got Ibushi 5 confidence points. I, too, have Ibushi 5 confidence points. Jeff Cobb has been wrecking Kota Ibushi the entire build-up to this match. Even the 2 Road 2 matches, I believe United Empire has been picking up wins over Team Ibushi. Yeah. This also leads me to believe that Kota Ibushi is going to get that win over Jeff Cobb. They got to get Kota Ibushi back in the title picture. I got Kota Ibushi 5 confidence points because like you got Kota Ibushi 4 confidence points.
Yeah, you got that right.
All right, main event time for the vacant IWGP World Heavyweight title. Kazuchika Okada versus Shingo Takagi. Steve, who do you got?
So originally, I've got Okada. I've got 1 confidence point on Kazuchika Okada. Here's the thing. I don't know if they're gonna do this. They should do this. I love Shingo. I think he's great. But New Japan right now, what they need more than anything is some semblance of stability.
Yep.
You had this Will Ospreay title reign. They probably knew that he was hurt before they did this, and they put the title on him. The title is ugly. Give him his old title back because it was beautiful, which they're probably not going to do that. But, like, you put it back in the hands of the Rainmaker, and you kind of just reset. You just reset your main title scene, and then you build Shingo to the point where he can get it off Okada over, like, the next 6 months or something. You have it happen at Wrestle Kingdom or something. But right now, you roll with Okada. That's what you do. Unless, for all I know, I mean, it's even hard to gauge. I would think, like, crowds, like, I know crowds love Shingo, but it's like, do you want him to win it at this 2-hour Dominion? Like, if you want a big thing for Shingo, Okada's won it before. He can win in front of 20 people at Dominion, like the sort of dialed down Dominion. It's Okada, 1 confidence point.
Yeah, I got Okada 1 confidence point too. Going back to, I think it was Voices of Wrestling, they report about when Ospreay got hurt. The original plan for that was for him to drop the title to Okada. The belt was going to go on Okada heading into Dominion. Who knows who his original opponent was going to be, whether it was going to be Shingo or somebody else. They hadn't announced that yet. Okada is stability. It's a safe pick. And you're right. If they're going to put that belt on Shingo, which he's more than deserved it based on the performances he's put on since coming to Japan.
Match of the year, perpetual match of the year.
You're going to put the belt on him.
Yeah.
It's got to be a moment, and that means in front of as many people as possible, not in front of a half full house.
Mm-hmm.
Okada gets the belt. At some point, Shingo's got to get that title. Enforcer, Manic pick.
Love it.
Shingo.
Love it.
4 confidence points.
Man, that's great.
I picked Okada, but I'm rooting for Shingo 100%. I want him to win.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I do too. But like, I want to win titles too. So, I'm on the road to Ultimo. So I gotta roll with. I gotta be rooting for the guy that I want to win. But no, I mean, look, this is going to be a killer match. It's going to be an absolutely killer match. So I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, let's see here. And then,
so you and I only differ on terms of picks. This LIJ Suzuki-Gun match. That's the only pick we have different. We have difference of confidence points. So it's going to come down to the second match on the card for us in a lot of respects.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know, but you never do. We don't know how confidence points are going to.
Yeah.
I've got one more in Desperado. You've got one more in Ibushi. So that's going to mess with things. I mean, so it's not going to come down. It's for you and me. It's not going to come down to the main event. Unless it does somehow. Yeah, no, you're right, because we have the exact same thing. First 2 matches. I don't know. El Desperado versus. I mean, that stuff. Those matches we have different confidence points, so it's possible those are gonna affect our stuff. I don't know. It's too early in the morning for me to think about this stuff. It's already 12:40.
Well, in the afternoon. First of all, let's talk Impact. That was on last night.
Yeah, it was.
We watched it. Fun show. Thanks to everybody who joined us for our co-stream. Kind of the highlight of this particular episode of Impact actually started before the Impact on BTI,
being the Impact,
which we call it. Iron Man match between Josh Alexander and TJP for the X Division title. Josh Alexander literally looked like he got hit by a car at the conclusion of this bout. He was beat to heck. Went to sudden death overtime. Josh Alexander retains 2 falls to 1. Caught about the last 35 minutes of it, and it was great stuff.
Yeah, just a killer match. I think they have it up right now at like YouTube or
they're gonna put up on their YouTube the whole thing.
Okay, yeah.
Just
really, the finish was absolutely fantastic. They really know how to milk stuff. By the way, Slammiversary tickets are sold out. One on sale this morning, and oh boy, they were a bit pricey. Yeah. I looked at them. I was like, man, if I can get some for like $50, I might secure it just in case. Just in case I decide to take a whim trip. And I was like, $250. You're crazy. But you get a lot. It was a great deal. It's already sold out. But it's kind of cool.
What'd you get apart from your ticket to the show?
Oh, a ton. Here, I don't know. Let's see. Let me take a look. Because Rebecca here in our mod chat listed everything because I think she's going to be there. So hopefully we'll see her maybe in the front row. On top of that, like I think it's just general admission. So like there was no it wasn't
no front row.
Oh, if you want front row, here, do this. So you get number 1. This is great. Official Slammiversary T-shirt.
Okay, that's good.
Official Slammiversary mounted poster.
Oh.
A post-show commemorative photo ringside or on the entrance ramp with the actual official X Division Championship belt. So you get to like roam around, I guess, and do stuff.
Hold the actual X Division title.
Hey, let me ask you something. Just taking a look at that place that they're shooting at. What do you think capacity is? A couple hundred?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot, right?
Because it's pretty small. I imagine they're going to have like maybe 2 rows. Maybe 2 rows.
You think that?
Around the ring.
Yeah.
They're still going to have people spaced out a little bit, I would imagine.
You would think so, yeah. You get a swatch of the official match-used Slammiversary canvas. So it's
you get to go up to it with a pair of scissors and cut your own chunk off?
No, but it says fans will have the chance to see the canvas be cut immediately after the pay-per-view.
All right.
But no, I was hoping they just give people scissors. Okay, go take a big chunk of it. People fighting over. This is generally speaking, it says Impact branded swag, complimentary water, soft drinks, chips, candy, and Robert Irvine's Fit Crunch protein bars courtesy of Robert Irvine and his wife, Gail Kim. That's the connection. So you get all that stuff for $250. So, a little pricey for me. If it was part of like a big weekend where there was like a ton of other stuff and like a convention, like you and I go out, it might be like, because it's going to be a killer show, and I love being that close to the action. I think that is probably kind of worth it. But just given that would just be a huge. I'd be spending like $1,000 for like
between
everything,
flight and accommodations, and
yeah. So I don't really have that money.
Kind of cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
Other matches last night. Jake Something defeated Rohit Raju in a tables match. That was a really solid bout too.
Yeah, it was.
Hogan and Steels retained the tag titles against Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. We had a video package about the debut of Steve Macklin, formerly known as Steve Cutler.
Yeah, people have been posting. People have been posting. This guy talk about like a well-kept secret. Like, I saw a promo of his on Twitter that he just cut like on his own video. It looked awesome. Like he's super intense. Like he looks like a freaking WWE main roster guy. And then this was just cool. It was just him. He had like a little
a bottle of Jameson.
Some Jameson, and it was just like his boots. And then it showed him, and it was like, oh man. And then like a skull. It says Macklin, very A-Team like. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this Soldier of Fortune is going to bring to the table, besides his bottle of Jameson.
Yeah. Kojima, making his Impact Wrestling, debut, defeated Diener. Yeah, those chops. And then the main event, Sami Callihan defeated Moose by DQ after the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega interfere. After that, Scott D'Amore is giving Don Callis all sorts of crap about that. And he wants to make the Against All Odds match for the titles, a triple threat bout between Kenny, Moose, and Callihan. And Don Callis is like, well, Sami Callihan, Tony Khan doesn't like him. And he has to prove anybody who's going to compete for the AEW title, I guess, or for the against Kenny. And Scott D'Amore says, well, okay, that's fine. I thought of that. Tony Khan's going to be on Impact next week to negotiate.
9 days. 9 days from tonight. 9 days.
Well, 7 weeks.
7 days.
6 days.
6 days now.
Today.
So yeah, that's cool stuff. Yeah, because that was kind of a lame finish to the match. But you got to figure they're going to do something like that. But yeah, kind of surprising Tony Khan's going to be on. So that's kind of fun. That's cool. We haven't seen him in the Impact Zone for a little while.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. So we do have an AEW tonight. We also have a SmackDown. Steve is going to a graduation tonight. So Enforcer and I will be doing our recap of SmackDown. I'll be kind of watching AEW on the side of my eye, my TV here, perhaps, while we're doing our recap, much like we did last week. Let's talk SmackDown first. First entry here. Rey and Dominic Mysterio put their SmackDown tag team titles on the line against the Usos. How likely is the Usos walk out of SmackDown with those titles?
Oh man, if it's the main event, then it's totally 100% gonna happen. Also, like, who do you think is Dom gonna turn on Rey? Is like the guy who mystery attacked Rey? Is it just Dom? Are they doing like my fantasy book that I did on Wrestle? Is that happening? Like, are they actually gonna have Dom be like, hey, I want to go be a party guy with the Dirty Dogs? So I'm gonna turn on my dad because I'm tired of carrying him on my shoulders, literally.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, they've done 2 matches now where, like, basically they haven't, like, one guy's been attacked, the other guy, has to come and make the save. That's gonna come back to bite him somehow because they're not like a normal tag team. They just do that stuff. So yeah, I think it might happen. It might happen unless they take it to Hell in a Cell.
They could. Roman could interfere, and it's obviously he doesn't want the Usos to be tag champs.
Yeah.
So he could get involved. Kevin Owens challenging Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental title, I believe. It doesn't say here it's a title bout. But Commander Aziz will be barred from ringside.
I don't know how that's gonna happen. And then they bring up who attacked Rey Mysterio last Friday on SmackDown. Maybe it's a call up, maybe it's Dom. I don't know. Maybe it's not Buddy Murphy. He's gone. And then Bianca Belair prepares a challenge for Bayley. Are we gonna get some more obstacle course type stuff?
Oh, that was a fun segment.
That was a really fun segment. I'll never forget Otis out of nowhere. I know. That was great.
We got AEW night as well. Inner Circle They're going to do their Stadium Stampede victory lap tonight.
Okay, that's good. That'll set up MJF versus Jericho in
at All Out, or at All Out, probably
3 months,
not
time,
sooner.
Yeah.
Sting and Darby Allin, they got something to say. I'm sure they'll be interrupted. Red Velvet versus the Bunny. This match should be really good. Another match that should be really good. Young Bucks versus Pac and Penta.
Ooh, I'll have to watch that.
We got a Mark Henry interview.
Oh, I hope he's not wearing a salmon-colored jacket.
Christian Cage, Steve's favorite wrestler, and Jungle Boy teaming up to take on Private Party. Nick Camarado versus Dustin Rhodes in a bull rope match.
Oh, that's fun.
Britt Baker will have her championship celebration. And then Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson will be teaming up to take on Anthony Ogogo and QT Marshall.
They're going to try to retcon that win from Cody, have Lee Johnson eat this pin here with a gut punch.
And then Ogogo's probably going to beat the heck out of Cody at the end.
Yeah, you think they're going to roll that? You're going to run that back? You think they usually don't do really rematches, do they?
They don't really do a whole lot of rematches, no.
They might. I mean, Cody's like, well, who else am I going to fight? There's nobody left on my island. Got to fight him again.
I know. Maybe they'll do something where Ogogo beats up Cody real bad tonight. Write Cody off TV for a while. He comes back and they have another match at All Out. But the math on that would lead you to believe that Cody would beat him at All Out again.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he'd come back with like black hair or something.
And then explain it with like a totally, like unrelated reference. Oh, like when Superman died, he came back. His hair was different.
Yeah. It was so weird. That was so weird. Cody's such a nerd. So yeah, that should be fun. I'll check that out. I mean, it is sort of Young Bucks versus Pac Penta, that's like must see right there. Beyond that, I mean, it's kind of like, okay, well, it's Friday. I'm not sure they would have done this particular lineup if it was Wednesday. They might have had a couple more fireworks, but should still be pretty entertaining, man. It's AEW. They'll put on a good show regardless.
Totally.
Anyways, that's going to do it for today's News Beef. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Like we said at the head of the show, give this video a thumbs up. We would appreciate it. Helps grow the show. Hit that subscribe button, and then, join Larson and the Enforcer tonight for some WWE Smackdown recap. Until next time, we'll talk to you later. You totally used the voice for rumor, by the way.
I just said rumor. That's how I say rumor. Rumor.
Rumor. I heard that.
No, I didn't do that. I just said rumor.